But in terms of Easter eggs, really, it's a practice that's been going on for a long time. And some people have different views on that. My take is, the kids really enjoy this time of just finding Easter eggs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I wouldn't go to the extreme of celebrating Easter eggs.
而对于虔诚的基督徒来说，西方世界逐渐世俗化，所以保持发扬他们所认为的复活节的真正意义，任重道远。尽管西人对复活节真正意义的观点不尽相同，甚至基督徒们自己对节日的日期都持有异议，而事实上，复活节假日却是西方文明中最受喜爱的习俗之一。世界各地的人们都会举办游行、音乐会等活动来庆祝这特殊的日子。
Being a holiday period stems from its Christian origins. What we've seen in more recent times is that there are many people within our society who may not share in the Christian faith, however, nonetheless benefit from having those holidays. And of course, increasingly we've seen people who aren't from the Christian tradition trying to develop activities for those holidays, and they might be driven by commercial considerations, they might be driven by sporting interests and so forth. But we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that these holidays first and foremost existed so that people could join in the celebration of their faith.
接下来是我们这期复活节节目的最后一段，我们会发现许多非基督教人士可能没充分意识到，耶稣的教义有很多都与仁爱精神和社会公平有关。世界各国都庆祝复活节，无论是欧洲中部还是非洲和亚洲的新建地区。事实上，复活节多语种、多种族的性质，意味着澳洲信徒的集体礼拜经常是包含多文化性质的。
You know what? I actually grew up obviously as an Asian. And I still remember back in the early days, my mom used to tell me, why do you believe in a Western God? And I told my mom, I said, Mom, Christianity is actually not a Western religion. Christianity is a relationship. For anybody, it doesn't matter what race or ethnic culture you come from. It's a message that God loves the whole world, that He came not just for the Westerners, He came for the Chinese, He came for the Indians, He came for the Hindus, He came for the Buddhists, He came for everybody.
I think increasingly, particularly in our larger churches, this multinational ethnic dimension is a growing reality.
Easter 又叫复活节，在中国人叫复活节，但是其实在中国这并不是一个特别普遍的节日。中国人呢，我们并没有庆祝这个复活节，但是我也是只是到了新西兰之后才知道了复活节的真正的意义是什么。那么现在对我来说，复活节是一个很重要的节日，因为在这一天是给了我希望的一天。
复活节本身，还有耶稣钉十字架和重生的前一周，都充分体现了基督教的中心思想：社会公平、众生平等。信仰和希望是基督教义中很重要的一部分，慈善也很重要。
The church's goal is to reach out really to the down and out, to help those that are needing an answer, needing to find a way. Ultimately, our objective is always to point people toward God, because when you have God, you have everything. See? So it doesn't mean when a person is poor they don't have everything.
And as you might imagine, there are many, many millions of people who will be considered as relatively poor, certainly from middle class down. But the truth is that particularly in the last 50 years, God has been working particularly among those groupings of people and helping them. And many, many thousands of churches have been founded and developed throughout Latin America, and most of them are reaching out into their communities with help and assistance. Many of them have started orphanages. Some more educated people have begun hospitals, even schools.
基督教学者们经常把耶稣登山训众论福一段作为基督主张扶助贫弱的证据之一。
What he was trying to do is actually trying to give mankind a standard for living. And the Bible, when it talks about blessed are the poor in spirit, it's not talking about being physically poor, but it's talking about poor in spirit where there is a hunger and a desire in our spirit, in our soul, to know God. You see, God loves us so much, and He's saying that when we come to know Him, we will begin to also experience the richness of what He has to offer us, both, I believe, in this life and in the life to come.
在不起眼的市区小教堂中，牧师瑞奇和教士 Christopher Grace 等人就是这样简简单单庆祝复活节的。就像圣诞节一样，复活节最重要的信息是我们美好的愿望。
A Christian point of view, we recognize the importance of this celebration that actually helps to give new life, new hope, to every person out there who's looking for an answer. And we celebrate the very fact that this is a living hope. It's a living hope that we have something to look forward to, something that to experience, something that even for us today as a church family, we celebrate together, we have a meal together, and just enjoy this time because God has given it to us, and we acknowledge that.
My favourite thing about Easter would have to be the person of Christ, what He did there on the cross for us, for all of humanity. The whole Easter story of His death and resurrection, I think, brings us such hope, Paul. Hope that we too can experience victory over death one day and come into His great kingdom. There's an amazing kingdom that God is preparing for those who believe.
当然，对大部分小孩来说，复活节最重要的是。
These are mine. Hello. Yeah, hello, lucky us.